I've been more optimistic than I ever have been the last 5 years, and for a variety of indicators. I've never seen the left so paranoid. They tried to destroy who's not really conservative. He's a empiricist, moderate Joe Rogan. He's got a larger audience than all the network news combined. And for one word or inarticulate expression, they misrepresent him. They try to destroy him. They tried to destroy Jordan Peterson. They are so paranoid that they censor Facebook, Twitter. They looked at what happened with the Canadian truckers here, and they stopped GoFundMe. In other words, they think to themselves, we own all the institutions of communication and influence. Wall Street media, Silicon Valley, K through 12 academia, the foundation, sports, entertainment, and yet these stupid people are still not with us. So you've got record anger. The Republican Party is making inroads in minorities here in the San Joaquin Valley of California. I've never seen anything like it. And talking to Mexican Americans, second generation Americans, they sound like they're a mixture of Barry Goldwater and Ronald Reagan. They don't want anybody telling them that they have to pay for transgendered operations. They don't believe in abortion on demand. They do not want people coming across the border into their communities that have criminal records. They don't understand why they have to pay $5 a gallon for a San Francisco pie in the sky dream of some wealthy person. So the left does not believe in civil liberties anymore. In fact, it believes in the opposite. It believes in the powers of the FBI, the CIA, the NSA to spy, to surveil, to use powers of government for superior moral means. They feel they want the tools so they can enact a superior moral vision for us. So I think I'm very optimistic. I have never seen anything, and I speak to you as I know that I've come on before, John, and been a little bit pessimistic, but things are rapidly changing here. I think there's a lot of reasons to be happy, and one of in our country, we will succeed or fail in the degree to which, whether it was wise or not, opening our borders and destroying the immigration policy. We have let in 50 million people now who were not born in the United States. And we have a lot of people who are Hispanic, African American, and mixed heritage who have been told by the Democratic Party that you will be a victim and we will identify the victimizers of you, and they're white male, Christian, heterosexual, middle-class people. And that message is boomeranging. And so we're seeing astronomical changes. I've never, in my own community, if you had told me that 45% of the Mexican-American vote voted for Donald Trump, or that Californians would recall a school board by 73% of leftists, and I shouldn't say Californians, John, I mean San Francisco liberals. And here in the state, we voted to maintain Prop 209, which forbid the use of race as a criterion for admissions and hiring in California. So I think part of it is like we can't take credit for it on the right. This is the first administration in my memory that was unapologetically socialist or hard left. And they wanted the reins of power, and they got it, legislatively, judicially, and executively. And what did they do? This has been the greatest disaster of any first-year president in memory. Every single issue is underwater. Every single issue has failed. The people, whether they're left or right, black, white, male or female, they say, I can't afford gas. I have $10,000 in the bank. That's all I have. I get zero interest. It's declined in value by 7 or 8%. I don't know anything about real estate. I can't even buy a house. I don't know how to invest in the stock market. I only have a passbook account. I just heard that story the other day. They go in and buy plywood. I put some plywood on this home a year ago, John. It was $7 for 4x8 sheet of 5/8 inch plywood. And I was told by the roofer, guess what, Victor? We're in luck. We got plywood for $55 a sheet. It's not 90 anymore like it was a few months ago. 90.
Wow.
These are astronomical changes. And unlike Barack Obama and Bill Clinton, who had enormous charismatic influence and abilities, they were very articulate, they were young, they were dynamic, and they had unpopular agendas. But by the sheer weight of the personas, they were able to push these agendas through. Joe Biden is a very old, and he was never eloquent, and he was always petulant, and those traits unfortunately have been accentuated. So I don't see a good future for them. I look around the party and I say, Nancy Pelosi is 81, James Clyburn, the majority whip, is 82, I think. Chuck Schumer is 74. They don't have a lot of youthful energetic leadership. And when you talk about a Ben Shapiro or Joe Rogan or any of these grassroots people, it's very funny. They don't reference their BAs, PhDs, MAs, journalism degrees, even though many of them are highly educated. Their appeal is their performance, whereas the left, of all ideologies, they are the most antiquated, and they hire and they reference by the school they went to, their certification. I work for the New York Times. I have a PhD in journalism from Columbia, this kind of stuff. So they're ossified, they're calcified, and the real dynamic fluidity, podcast, videos, talk radio, it's kind of it thrives because it's sort of like in the arena, thumbs up and thumbs down, and the popular audience reacts to it. And I grew up with this idea that all these 60s people were, they're marching on the Pentagon, marching on the Capitol, marching on the TV station. Well, now they're all in those places. And their idea of a revolution is become a kind of a Stalinist, bloated apparatchik on the May Day dais as you watch the missiles on May Day parade. And they're like the Soviets. They're old, they're tired, they're intolerant, they're paranoid. That's the left, and I think in the West. And the energy now is with the right. Part of it's because youth are always rebellious against the orthodoxy, but part of it is that they're very afraid of what the left wants for them. And Ukraine is sort of a wake-up call on a lot of fronts here in the United States. I was listening to a senator today who has voted against every energy and initiative, and he was asked on the radio deliberately, "Are you going to support fracking? And he said, "I've always supported fracking. Why are you doing this to me?" I mean, he just blatantly lied because he felt that to reveal his true intentions was a suicide pact in November.